These people have died not by ISIS. The vast majority, 95% of them, died by the Syrian regime. Well, I've been there, I've done that. I know that most of these big nations who have a lot of money and a lot of guns, they don't really care about the little guy or the small country. They have bigger agenda, and unfortunately, it is, when you don't have any power, you just become like what happened to Syria, like a public bathroom that everybody visit when they have to relieve themselves. These people have died not by ISIS. The vast majority, 95% of them, died by the Syrian regime. In reality, as we see it now, when Trump attacked Syria, he attacked the Syrian regime, quote unquote, right? And he threw about 59 different Tomahawk missiles. But let's talk about how many people died in Syria in the last 6 years. There's about maybe roughly, numbers varies, but I would say at least 500,000, maybe 650,000 that have been killed. Most of them are civilians who happen to be in their town, and the Assad regime is throwing a barrel bomb on the center of the cities or in buildings and killing people within the buildings in which they live in. Terror can be committed by individuals, groups, or nations, and I think that having to kill people in such manner, I'm not sure if anybody, if civilians are killed in this mother of all bombs today, but overall, in the past, our experience tells us that we always end up having what they call collateral damage. They're afraid to say it, that we're killing human beings. And this is the sad part about it, that we don't think of these people are human beings. We think of them as just somebody who happened to be in the way. And so when you are talking about the killing of 3% by ISIS, we're directing all our energy to it. It makes no sense. Why are they not concerned about the regime who killed 95% of the people, and they keep telling us that ISIS is the problem? Well, of course ISIS isn't the problem, but let's have a priority. If we continue to allow the Assad regime with its supporters from either Iran or Russia to continue to kill Syrians, then there's a problem with this method.
So you're saying go after Assad?
Absolutely, go after Assad, because he is the source of the problem. If you stop him, then the minute issues of ISIS can be handled, with the help Assad and the help of the Russian jets and the Iranians and Hezbollah, the militia from Lebanon. These are the ones who are holding the Assad in position. If they did not do that, he would have been gone a long time ago.
Native of Syria, none of us really can relate. How does it feel to have your homeland bombed? And what are people
It's a
saying
heartbreaker.
back home?
It's a heartbreaker to see how the country has fallen apart, destroyed. I mean, they say like 60-70% of the infrastructure is gone. As I said, about 600 or more thousand people have been killed. Maybe as much or more have been injured. The school system have fallen apart, so a lot of kids are not going to school, and you're going to have generations to come who are not educated. The health system has fallen apart. A lot of the doctors have left the country, and I tell you, probably we have more doctors in Cleveland area from Syria than we have in the whole country of Syria. So even I would say the population of Syria was 22 million before the whole thing started. Now they say about at least 12 million are displaced. Half of them outside the country and half of them within. So the Assad regime continues to control. It's like the mafia controls the money. They are, as you probably heard of the Panama Papers, they are one of the richest. Him and his family are the richest, one of the richest families in the world. And so, I don't think he's in a position willing to give up his position or compromise anything, because he has the upper hand. So the United States of America supports the Kurds in the north to have a piece of land that's cut off from Iraq, Turkey, and northern Syria. And they're thinking of splitting the country into also, in addition to the Kurdish section, give a part to the Sunni and to the sect of Assad.
So why?
So they're gonna, eventually, country is gonna be diced up and cut into pieces. Those who are left behind are a terrorist project. They become so mad, with seeing their loved ones being blown to smithereens, and it becomes very difficult for them to understand and be patient.
That's when they begin to buy into their extremist ideology?
Yeah, because you're not given any chance of voicing your opinion, and might makes it right issue. So as I said, terrorism comes in many different ways, whether individuals or state. So when you are talking about the killing of 3% by ISIS, we're directing all our energy to it. It makes no sense. Why are they not concerned about the regime who killed 95% of the people, and they keep telling us that ISIS is the problem? Well, of course ISIS isn't the problem, but let's have a priority. If we continue to allow the Assad regime to, with its supporters from either Iran or Russia, to continue to kill Syrians, then there's a problem with this method.
So you're saying go after Assad?
Absolutely, go after Assad, because he is the source of the problem. If you stop him, then the minute issues of ISIS can be handled. Russia, United States, Britain, even sometimes France, all these people, how could they not be able to conquer such a small group of people who don't have the weapons that we have? So it makes me question, either our intention or our methodology. Well, the Assad regime's propaganda machine is very good, combined with the Russian ones. And of course, they're going to create that doubt in the hearts of people. And I've heard a lot of people on the left in this country who are saying that it's not done by the Assad regime, it's done by the rebels. And the rebels, these materials require facilities, and you have to have good control over them, and they are not easily reserved. So they don't even have airplanes, and these gases were thrown over from with the airplane. So obviously, the only way that we would assume that it's been done is by the Assad regime, and this is not the first time. I mean, actually, there is a lot of times that happened before, but it was not really brought up to the media. Why are we so concerned, which we should, about chemical weapons, but we're not worried about barrel bombs or any other way of killing. Killing is killing, whether the life is being sucked up by chemical weapons or by bullet or by shrapnels. Life is important to be preserved, and the way it is, people are dying, should be secondary to the way that we are behaving. I mean, I know looking at somebody who's gasping for air is very difficult to accept, but again, death is death, and it's a crime regardless of how. Of course, because I know for a fact that he didn't do it for the sake of helping the Syrians. He doesn't. He doesn't give a hoot about what if the Syrians live or die. And as I said, the killing has been happening for the last 6 years. Nothing is new. Obama had failed to support stop the killing, and I think Trump's interest is really in the military complex, making sure that the Arab and the Muslim world is divided, because they can present a challenge to them if they are strong in one nation. I mean, divide and conquer. Everybody knows that. I've heard the stories by a lot of commentators here in the United States that when this happened in Syria, for example, the guy said that just let them kill each other. Literally, he said, let them kill each other.